Namaskar and a warm good afternoon to all of you. I warmly welcome Honorable Mr. Justice Surya Kant, the Chief Justice of India, Honorable Mr. Justice Sanjay Karol, Justice Amanullah, Justice S.C. Sharma, Justice Masi, Justice Barade, Justice Koteshwar Singh, Justice Mahadevan, Justice Chandrasekhar, family members of Justice Karol, his son Sarthak Karol, and Minakshi Baduria. I welcome learned ASG Archana Dave Pathak, past presidents and office bearers of SCORA, including Mr. Vipin Nair, Mr. Snehashish Mukherjee. I welcome Mr. Minish Dubey, Joint Secretary-elect SCBA, Mr. Rohit Pandey, former Secretary SCBA, learned senior advocates present here, distinguished members of SCORA, including Ijaz sir, Bhargav Desai sir, esteemed members of the bar, my fellow members of the SCORA Executive Committee. It is with great respect and sense of gratitude that we come together today to bid farewell to Honorable Mr. Justice Sanjay Karol. On behalf of SCORA, it is my privilege to welcome you all to this special gathering. Today is a farewell, but it is also a celebration of Justice Sanjay Karol's journey, of the years he has given to the law, to this institution, and to the many lives and careers he has touched along the way. As token of our appreciation, I request Khushbu Sahu, Member Executive SCORA, to present a planter and welcome Honorable Mr. Justice Surya Kant, the Chief Justice of India. I request Mr. Sachin Sharma, former Joint Treasurer SCORA, to present a planter and welcome Honorable Mr. Justice Sanjay Karolji. Justice Sanjay Karol's judicial career has spanned different jurisdictions and institutions, giving him a perspective that is both wide and deeply grounded in the realities of justice delivery system. We, the members of the bar, will remember Justice Karol not merely for the judgments delivered, but for the manner in which his lordship is to conduct the courtrooms with dignity, without raising voices, and with the patience to hear every argument. But perhaps one of the most meaningful legacies that Justice Karol leaves behind is the opportunity his lordship has given to young advocates by appointing them as amicus curiae to assist the court. For many young lawyers, such an opportunity is invaluable. It gives them the chance to engage with complex legal issues, to learn from the bench, and to experience a level of responsibility that is otherwise difficult to come by. These experiences that stay with these young lawyers build knowledge, build confidence, and in many cases, they shape the lawyer that they go on to become. Justice Karol has left that impression on many young members of our bar, and I will not hesitate to call him Justice Gen Z. On that note, I request Mr. Nikhil Jain, Vice President SCORA, to deliver his welcome address.
Honorable Mr. Justice Surya Kant, Chief Justice of India, Honorable Justice Sanjay Karol, Honorable Judges of the Supreme Court, Ms. Archana Pathak Dave, London ASG, Senior Members of the Bar, Mr. Ijaz Maqbool and Mr. Bhargav Desai, Mr. Minish Dubey, Joint Secretary-elect, Mr. Vipin Nair, former President SCORA, Mr. Snehashish Mukherjee, former Vice President SCORA, Mr. Sachin Sharma, former Joint Treasurer SCORA, and Mr. Rohit Pandey, former Secretary SCBA. Respected office bearers and members of SCORA, a very special and very warm welcome to the members of your Lordship's family who have joined us this evening. Sarthak, your Lordship's son, and Nilakshi Baduria, your Lordship's daughter-in-law, their presence here today makes this occasion all the more special as we celebrate not only your Lordship's distinguished judicial journey, but also the family that has been an integral part of that journey. Some judicial journeys can be measured in years, in judgments delivered, and the offices one has held. Others are better understood by the breadth of experience they bring to the bench. The journey of Honorable Justice Sanjay Karol is one such journey. Your Lordship hails from Gurley in Kangra, From St. Edward's School in Shimla, through education and years at the bar, the journey took your lordships to the office of the Advocate General of Himachal Pradesh, and in 1999 to designation as a senior advocate. The judicial journey that followed carried your lordships through the High Courts and ultimately to this court. Elevated to the High Court of Himachal Pradesh in 2007, your lordship went on to serve as the acting Chief Justice, thereafter as the Chief Justice of Tripura High Court, and then as the Chief Justice of Patna High Court before elevation to the court on 6 February 2023. What makes this journey significant is not its length alone, but the breadth of experience and responsibility that it represents. Your Lordship has seen the justice system from almost every vantage point, from practicing at the bar and holding constitutional office as Chief Justice of the High Courts, and finally as the Judge of the Supreme Court. To that must be added your Lordship's association with the state legal service authorities and service as Chancellor of Chanakya National Law University. Another distinguished feature of your Lordship's tenure has been the extensive engagement with the bar through the appointment of learned counsel as amicus curiae in matters requiring assistance to the court. And I must tell you, everybody, that Lordships have appointed around 500 young lawyers as amicus curiae. It reflects your Lordship's recognition of the important role that the bar can play in assisting the court in reaching a just and informed conclusion. That breadth is also reflected in your Lordship's judicial work. There is, in your Lordship's judgments, a clear sensitivity to human dignity, compassion, and the value of an individual. These qualities also resonate with the spiritual dimensions of your Lordship's life. This reflection of compassion, sensitivity, and above all, spirituality can be seen in one of your Lordship's judgment in Shishupal, alias Shishpal versus Surjit, where Lordship's bench addressed the contribution of a homemaker to a family and society. The court recognized the homemaker as a nation builder and recognized loss of domestic care as a distinct head of compensation. The judgments gave legal recognition to something that families have long understood, that the work of mothers, wives, and sisters within the home, though often invisible and unpaid, carries immense economic and human value. Your Lordship's jurisprudence concerning women, their dignity, and their autonomy is equally noteworthy. In Saroj versus IFCO Tokyo General Insurance Company, the court affirmed the principle that Stridhan is the exclusive property of a woman and recognized the right to exercise control over it. These judgments remind us that the law is ultimately not about abstractions alone. Behind every claim is a person, a family, a life, and often a loss that cannot be measured merely in numbers. And perhaps that is what makes a farewell such as this meaningful. A judge leaves the bench on a particular date, but the experience remains in the judgments delivered, in the institutions served, in the lawyers and litigants who appeared before him, and in the generation of young professionals who have observed their journey. For Scora too, there are memories that form part of this journey. Your Lordship joined us in the Goa for the first Scora International Conference in 2024, an important occasion in the association's own journey and an opportunity for the bar and bench to come together beyond the formal sitting of the courtroom. Today, on behalf of Scora, we express our deepest respect and gratitude for Lordship's service to the justice system and for the contributions made during your tenure on this court. My Lord, as you demit office, you leave behind not merely a position, but a record of services across institutions that form the very fabric of our judicial system. On behalf of Scora, I extend our warmest wishes to your Lordship and your family for the years ahead. Thank you.
May I request Devrat, President Scora, to address the gathering.
Honorable the Chief Justice of India, Justice Suryakant, Honorable Justice Amanullah, Justice A.C. Sharma, Justice Mahadevan, Justice Masi, Justice Varale, Justice Kotishwar Singh, Justice Chandrasekhar, who is also an advocate on record. We all welcome you to the SCORA function. And while we are bidding farewell to one of our dearest judges, Justice Sanjay Karol, Mr. Vipin Nair, our former president, SCORA, Mr. Snehashish Mukherjee, Vice President, SCORA, and all the senior advocates, ladies and gentlemen. We have gathered here today to farewell a judge who for many of us has been much more than a judge, before whom we appeared. Justice Sanjay Karol has brought to this court something that is not always easy to put in words: warmth, courtesy, and a genuine sense of humility. My lord comes from Shimla, from the hills of Himachal Pradesh. Perhaps there is something of the mountains in my lord's personality too, calm, composed and dignified, but always approachable, unlike the mountains. And of course, there is a smile. Matters were dismissed, but always with a big smile on his face. The orders may not always have been what we are hoping for as lawyers, but somehow when it came with that smile, it became a little harder to complain. But we will remember about my lords is not only the warmth in the courtroom, we'll also remember the way my lord has approached the question that affects people who are often invisible to the legal system. The judgment in Shankar Meheto versus State of Bihar is one such example amongst many others. I have just taken this judgment because what has come before the court as a case involving a death sentence raised a much larger concern about the difficulties faced by prisoners who depend upon legal aid. The judgment looks closely at the functioning of the Supreme Court Legal Services Committee and the various stages through which a legal aid matter has to pass before it can effectively reach the court. At its heart, the judgment says something very simple: legal aid cannot merely exist as a right on paper if the lawyer is appointed late, if the record does not reach the lawyer, or if the appeal remains caught in administrative delays. Then for a person sitting in prison, the rights means very little. The concern for the person behind the case has also been visible in my lord's recent judgment concerning death caused by stray animals. The court did not treat those deaths as merely statistics. It looked at the families left behind and at the responsibility of the state to respond when a preventable tragedy occurs. The direction on compensation and the recommendation made in that matter show the same instinct, that behind every legal issue is a human life, and the law must ultimately respond to the life. I think that is one of the qualities that make my lord tenure particularly meaningful. For us, SCORA, I have met Lordship when I was a secretary in 2023 when Lordship was elevated. Since then, Lordship has been constant guiding light for SCORA, I must say. Always approachable, always ready for giving suggestions. The courtroom sometimes could have been serious, but it was never cold. My lord, we thank you for that. We thank you for the patience for which you have heard us, for the courtesy you have shown to the bar, for the encouragement that you have given to young lawyers, and the warmth that you have brought to this court. I think Nikhil mentioned 450 or 500 amicus curiae Lordship has appointed, which was unprecedented. I understand that Lordship has told us that Varanasi is going to be one of the chapters. He'll spend some time in Varanasi also during his retired life. So after the mountains of Himachal, you will also have the banks of Ganga and the timelessness of Kashi. Perhaps it is a fitting transition. We hope that the next chapter brings you and your family the same peace, happiness, and contentment that you have brought to many of us. My Lord, the bench may see this at the end of an assignment, but for the bar, it is the departure of a judge whose presence made the courtroom a little more human, and on many difficult days, a little more pleasant. We'll miss you, Lordship. But most of all, I think we will remember the smile. And we will remember it with a smile of our own. On behalf of SCORA and all its members, I wish you and your family a happy, healthy, and fulfilling life ahead. Thank you, Lord, for your patience, and all the best for the journey ahead. I hope that you'll share some good anecdotes about the past life as well as what you are contemplating to do in future. One of the Chief Justices has told us that he will ride a motorcycle after the retirement. So we'll like to. Thank you, Lord.
Thank you, Devrajji. And taking a cue from what he said, it is a judge may retire from the bench, but a life devoted to justice never really retires. The judgment remains, the principles live on, and the memories of the courtroom remain with all of us who have had the privilege of appearing before Lordship. And therefore, it is with great pleasure and respect I invite Lordship Justice Karol to address the gathering.
On the dais, respected Honorable Chief Justice of India, Justice Suryakant ji. Of the dais, my esteemed my lords, Justice Amanullah, Justice Satish Sharma, Justice Mahadevan, Justice Massi, Justice Varale, Justice Koteshwar, and Justice Chandrasekhar. We have on the dais the President of the SCORA Association, the Vice President, and Ms. Pamar. Of the dais, we also have Mr. Bhargav Desai, the oldest advocate on record. It's a great honor to have you with us, sir. We also have Mr. Rohit Pandey, Mr. Nair, members of the executive members of the body, SCORA, and all the ladies and gentlemen. I'll be very short and brief. Honorable the CJI is already hot pressed for time. I know it is very, very valuable. We have a program going on, Samadhan is involved into that. I must tell both Mr. Devrat and Ms. Yugendra that the smile comes from the heart. And today is the day I would firstly express gratitude to God Almighty. I would also my revered parents, my elders, and who have been there in the bar, my Guru, Shri Arun Jaitley, and of course elders in the profession. And Honorable the CJI, really, who has been one amongst the five who have been able to make sure that I come here and be with you. Thank you very much, Honorable CJI, for that. To begin with, I must also seek apology of everyone whom I may have, in whatever manner hurt, any which way. during the course of discharge of my judicial functions. But आपको एक बात का तो आप मेरे साथ सहमत होंगे, मैंने फैसला जो भी किया सही किया गलत किया, लेकिन सबके साथ समानता रखते हुए किया. एडवोकेट ऑन रिकॉर्ड को हमने कहा कि हर केस में आप आइएगा. थोड़ा सा मरमरिंग ज़रूर हुई, लेकिन उसके फ़ायदे बहुत हुए. एक तो एडवोकेट ऑन रिकॉर्ड की रिकग्निशन. देखिए, हमारे यहाँ जजेस आते हैं हिंदुस्तान से, एक दूसरे को नहीं जानते हैं. जो आदमी बहस कर रहा है उसी को पहचानते हैं, लेकिन हमारे रीढ़ की हड्डी जो है इंस्टीट्यूशन की, दैट इज़ द इंस्टीट्यूशन ऑफ एडवोकेट ऑन रिकॉर्ड. इस सुप्रीम कोर्ट के दरवाजे, मेन गेट के अंदर कोई अगर आ सकता है तो केवल आप ही की अनुमति के साथ आ सकता है, अदरवाइज कैन नॉट कम. So the judges, the bar who come from outside must know who is the advocate on record. और उसके दो फ़ायदे हुए. एक फ़ायदा तो प्रेजेंस लगी, हाजिरी लगी, तो मॉनेटरी बेनिफिट हुआ. दूसरा रिकग्निशन हुई. और एडवोकेट ऑन रिकॉर्ड ने जो असिस्ट किया हम सबको, आज यहाँ जितने भी मेरे ब्रदर्स बैठे हैं, मैंने बेंच शेयर किया है सबके साथ. तो आई मस्ट एक्नॉलेज दिस, द कंट्रीब्यूशन ऑफ ईच वन ऑफ द मेंबर्स ऑफ एडवोकेट ऑन रिकॉर्ड हु हैव हेल्प्ड अस इमेंसली इन डिलीवरिंग जस्टिस. I would also say this, that when we joined the bar, so we knew of Mr. P.H. Parekh, Mr. Dattar. Of course, he was very elderly. He was the one when he was the first president of the SCORA. But we had seen those people, and Mr. Agarwal also, Agarwala. They were institutions in themselves, and that Mr. Bhargav Desai is there, and that inspired us as youngsters to work hard, emulate them, and because the qualities which they had of integrity, of character, of service for the cause of justice was something which we emulated. Thank you very much, all of you, for that, please. एडवोकेट ऑन रिकॉर्ड की वकालतनामा की कितनी हैसियत होती है, मैं आपको एक किस्सा सुनाता हूँ अपनी लाइफ का. बड़ा मिस्टर जेठमलानी was looking for a person who could sign the वकालतनामा for filing a petition in the Delhi High Court. Matter was very sensitive, and none was ready to come forward. तो हम तो शिमला से आए थे. We were looking for work. So I was approached. I said, to work with Mr. Jethmalani is the biggest honor which can come in the way of any lawyer. And some people cautioned me, but despite that, I signed the vakalatnama and the petition was filed. What is the fate and outcome of that petition is a different matter. But to be with Mr. Jethmalani and to understand the nuances of the constitution is an opportunity which came in my way. And this, I would say, I'll be very brief today, to the members of the bar tomorrow, that the rare real grooming of the advocate, real education of the advocate is in the courtrooms and not outside. जब हमने ज्वाइन किया प्रोफेशन तो एक बड़ी ऐड आती थी, लिव लाइफ किंग साइज. हमारी उम्र के जो चीफ साहब भी याद करेंगे, हमारी उम्र के जो लोग हैं तो वो ऐड देखा करते थे. तो somehow that ad got stuck to us and we started living life king size. जो भी काम किया उसकी कृपा से किया, माता पिता के आशीर्वाद से किया, आप सबके लोगों के आशीर्वाद से किया, गुड विशेस से किया, पर किंग साइज किया. जो भी किया खुले दिल से किया, ओपन हार्ट. लाइफ इज़ एन ओपन चैप्टर, आई वुड से, of every judge. To the younger members of the bar, I would only say this, that when to stop and move on to the next point is something very, very important which you must keep in mind. हमारे दिल में जब आया तो एक ही बात आई कि किसी के साथ ट्रैवर्सिटी ऑफ जस्टिस नहीं होनी चाहिए. और जब ट्रैवर्सिटी ऑफ जस्टिस ना हो तो कार्जू ने अपनी किताब में लिखा है that Jesus says that let my justice be tempered with mercy. So compassion is something which clinged on to us while delivering justice. चीफ साहब, मुझे आज ऐसा लग रहा है कि मेरा आपके ज़माने में ये जो 80s के बाद जो यंगस्टर्स हैं उनको तो शायद मालूम नहीं होगा कि मैटनी शो क्या होता था. तो 3.5 साल का वो मैटनी शो जो है मेरा आज अगले चरण में जाने वाला है. और एक बात और कहना चाहता हूँ आपसे कि जो भी करो वो जी भर के करो. और अंत में केवल इतना ही कहना चाहूँगा कि दुआओं में याद रखना. थैंक यू.
Thank you, Lordship, for your address, and also thank you for recognizing the AORs in those kind words of yours. Now, with great pleasure, I invite the head of our judiciary, Justice Surya Kant, Chief Justice of India, to kindly address and share his thoughts on this special occasion.
My brother Justice Sanjay Karol, Judge Supreme Court of India, whom we all gathered here to honor today, my esteemed colleagues from the Supreme Court, learned Additional Solicitor General of India, Mr. Devarth, President Supreme Court, Advocates on Record Association, Mr. Nikhil Jain, Vice President SCORA, Ms. Yugandhara Pawar Jha, Honorary Secretary of SCORA, other office bearers and members of SCORA, office bearers of the Supreme Court Bar Association, senior advocates and members of the Supreme Court Bar Association, our special guest, family members of Justice Sanjay Karol. A very good evening to all of you. By now that you are aware, I and Sanjay know each other right from the profession time. Being working in the neighborhood states, we had intermittent occasions to meet as young professionals Then it was a coincidence that both of us were Advocate General. I was representing Haryana, he was representing Himachal. And there have been occasions when we both were summoned and with short 24-hour notice by Supreme Court. And while cursing the benches, we have been coming together and it was another coincidence that we worked together for some time in the High Court of Himachal Pradesh when I took over there as Chief Justice. With Himachal High Court, all the members of the bar from Chandigarh, including Justice Augustine Masih is here, Arun is not here. We all have very fond memories of Shimla bar. As young lawyers, particularly, very not frequently but often, we were engaged for certain matters in the Himachal High Court. And to be honest, even at the cost of half of the fee, as we used to take in Chandigarh, we will prefer a brief in Shimla, because that will give an opportunity either to go argue the case on Friday or on Monday and enjoy the weekend there. So those were the fond memories that we have been having about Shimla and the Himachal High Court. But then there are occasions when the vocabulary we use in court seems wholly inadequate to the moment. We are all accustomed to speaking in the language of law, of facts and principles, precedents and propositions, rights and remedies. An evening such as this calls for something more personal. It invites us to speak of the people we have known, the memories we have gathered, and the qualities that remain with us long after the formalities of office are past. And so today I wish to remember my brother Sanjay Karol, not simply through the offices he has held or the judgments he has delivered, but through a few moments that taken together offer glimpses of the person behind the office. After all, a career in law can be reduced to a chronology. A life devoted to law cannot be. On quality in particular seems to run through the many chapters of Brother Sanjay's journey, an attentiveness to people and to the world around him. Let me put a small caveat here. I have to speak about him on 3 occasions, so I am only partly sharing today. I will be, my total experience and my sentiments about him, I will be sharing in 3 installments. So only partly I am sharing today. There is a small incident from his years in Himachal Pradesh which captures his personality so beautifully. While travelling to court on one morning, Brother Karol saw a milkman collapse by the roadside. He stopped his car, attended to him, and made sure that he was reached to hospital. He was taken to hospital, that his treatment is provided and he was safe. And then only he came back to the court. It is worth remembering because it reveals something that a resume or list of judgments would not reveal, which is what that compassion for Brother Karol has never been confined to judicial office. It is a disposition to notice, to pause, and to respond. That instinct found a different expression within the courtroom in a refusal to let the individual disappear behind the institution or behind the proposition of law. A telling example is the suo motu cases he took up over the denial of a statutory disability reservation to a student at Himachal Pradesh University, his own alma mater. The matter thus involved an institution with which he had a personal association, yet that could not have no bearing on the obligation before the court. It is precisely in such moments that a judge is truly tested, and here the only consideration that mattered was the right of the student and how to enforce that right. A different episode from his years as Chief Justice of Patna High Court offers a related glimpse of the same sensitivity. When plans for a new building of the High Court campus threatened a stand of people trees, I believe Brother Karol did not treat their removal as an inevitable cost of development. The design was altered. Instead, the trees could stand. It is easy to dismiss such a decision as a small administrative detail, yet institutions are saved by exactly such choices. Whether efficiency is allowed to eclipse sensitivity and development made to mean displacement. Here the building rose without the trees being sacrificed, a modest accommodation, but one that reflected a larger unwillingness to treat the vulnerable as expendable. That same concern for people and institutions run through the warmth and with which Justice Karol remembered his year in Bihar. In his letter to the state's judicial officers, he described himself as a son of the soil of Bihar and spoke with affection of his judicial family, the words of someone bidding farewell to colleagues with whom he had shared a defined chapter of his professional life. He recalled, in particular, the extraordinary circumstances of the pandemic and the collective effort that had kept the doors of justice open in Patna, pride in what had been accomplished, and gratitude for those who had carried that responsibility. That letter comes closest, perhaps, to the idea running through all these recollections that for Justice Karol, judiciary has never been an abstraction. It is people, litigants seeking justice, officers keeping the system running, colleagues sharing the burden, and institutions whose legitimacy rests ultimately on the trust of those they serve. It is fitting, therefore, that one of the most relieving things Brother Karol has said about his own approach to judicial office concern the Constitution. He described the Constitution as his most favorite book and has spoken of reading a portion of it every day. I have always liked his explanation for this, as he does not read it in order to finish the reading of Constitution. Rather, he reads it to remind himself of what it asks of him. There is a certain humility in that approach to constitutional office, where even after years on the bench, one continues to return to the text that entrusted this responsibility to us. The Constitution, after all, is not merely a book of powers and limits. It is a reminder that behind every legal question stands a human being, and behind every institution a public trust, which is perhaps why Justice Karol's judicial journey, principle and compassion have so rarely appeared as competing values and so often as two parts of the same commitment. Brother Sanjay Karol has travelled through decades in law with qualities that belong to no particular designation and so will not disappear with it. The discipline will remain, as will the fidelity to the Constitution, the respect for institutions, and above all, that every human instinct to notice when someone needs help. On behalf of my colleagues on the Supreme Court, the members of the SCORA, members of SCBA, and all those whose lives his work has touched, I offer Brother Sanjay Karol my deepest gratitude. It has been a privilege to know you as a colleague. This court will certainly feel your absence, but after Saturday, which will be your last working court day, I hope we can look past the retirement of a judge and celebrate instead the continuing journey of a person who has spent a lifetime in service of law and of people. May the years ahead give you the time that public life rarely permits, time with family, time for the books that have accompanied you throughout your life, time to return to the places that shaped you, and perhaps even a little time to do nothing at all. And when you do look back, I hope you will do so with the satisfaction of knowing that whenever the moment demanded it, you stopped, you listened, and you did the work that was yours to do. Thank you very brother. Thank you very much, brother. All the best wishes. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Lordship. We are glad to know the human, fair, and sensitive side of Justice Karol was on the bench and off the bench. With your Lordship's permission, a few young members of our bar would like to share a few thoughts on Justice Sanjay Karol. May I call Sonal Kushwaha? Can someone give the mic to Sonal? On hai. Are you going to speak?
Your Lordship, Honorable the Chief Justice of India, Your Lordship, Justice Karol, Your Lordship, all the judges of the Honorable Supreme Court here present today, all the members of the bar, and everybody, ladies and gentlemen, present here. I'm one of those 500 amicus curiae that Your Lordship, Justice Karol had appointed, and I feel great and excited about this. And I want to thank you personally because we, as young lawyers, especially me as a first-generation lawyer, we feel to be seen when we are appointed as amicus curiae in the matters, when we can approach the bench finally and argue the matters. On a personal note, I would like to extend my gratitude to your Lordship Justice Karol, as I personally had the honor of your guidance in Himachal Pradesh also. I graduated from National University Shimla, and we were honored for your guidance there also, especially when you were acting Chief Justice there. You have been our Chancellor. Honorable Chief Justice had also been our Chancellor in the university. Your guidance there in the university and workshops we had is also very memorable to us even today. So we wish you happiness, health, and full of prosperity and full of well-being life ahead. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Sonal. May I request Nivedita Nair, Executive Member at SCORA, also to say a few words.
Your Lordship, I'm Nivedita Nair, and I'm really thankful for the opportunity Your Lordships have given. There was a matrimonial dispute between a party, and Your Lordship had given me the opportunity to mediate between the parties, so to facilitate a dialogue between them. So the wife was hesitating. So Your Lordship, such opportunities are very rarely given to a young lawyer. And promoting mediation and other alternative dispute resolution is something we all look forward to. And as a young lawyer, participating is definitely very encouraging. Thank you so much. And we all bid a very happy farewell to you. And thank you on behalf of all the 500 amicus curiaes. Thank you so much.
We have a special gesture from one of our young members of the bar, Mr. Hani Yadav, who has made a beautiful hand sketch of Justice Karol. I request Hani Yadav to come on the stage and give it to Lordship. We have also prepared a very short video of Justice Karol's journey. We would like to play that. May I request the technical team to kindly play that. I request our President and Vice President Skora to kindly present a memento, and I request Mr. Bhargav Desai to present a stole to Justice Karol. I request the entire executive committee to kindly come for a group photograph. क्या हुआ? Okay, all the judges can, if all the judges can kindly join us for the picture also. No, kindly please join us for a picture, please. Please, Lordship, please come. I request Rohit Kumar Singh, Joint Secretary Skora, to give the vote of thanks.
Respected dignitaries, distinguished guests, and esteemed colleagues, it is a privilege to deliver a vote of thanks on behalf of Supreme Court Advocate on Record Association on this memorial evening as we bid an affectionate farewell to Honorable Justice Sanjay Karol. We extend our deepest gratitude to your lordships for your distinguished service to the Supreme Court of India. Your profound wisdom, patient hearing, unwavering commitment of justice, and cordial demeanor towards the bar have an incredible mark on all of us. The generous spirit and reassurance presence in court is something many of us at the bar have experienced firsthand and deeply cherished over the years. We wish Honorable Justice Sanjay Karol a good health, happiness, and success in your future endeavors. To Honorable Chief Justice of India, Honorable Justice Suryakant, we express our sincere thanks for gracing this occasion with your presence despite your demanding schedule. Your lordships have constantly encouragement to the legal fraternity means a great deal for us. I also thank all the honorable judges for being present today on this occasion. I also thank the family of Justice Karol, Sarthak and Meenakshi for being present today. I also thank Ms. Archana Dave Pathak ma'am for being present today. I also thank Mr. Bhargav Desai and Izad Maqbool sir for being present today. I also thank Manish Dubey, Joint Secretary Skora, SCBA, Vipin Nair, President Skora, former President Skora, Rohit Pandey, former Secretary SCBA, and Snehashish Mukherjee, former VP Skora, for being present today. To the Skora, I also thank the members from the Skora to be present today, and the dignitaries for all, thanks all the learned advocates and esteemed guests present today for joining us to making this farewell a truly special. Thank you once all again. And I request everyone to join us for a cup of tea. Thank you.
सारे उठा लो।